And our guest is Steve Knuth, who is the president and CEO of Valley Hope, based here in Kansas with locations around the state. And we're talking really about moving forward, if you will, and maybe some of the challenges that COVID has brought. Steve, last year, brought some of that instability, fear, some of the things we talked about, and we're seeing possibly the end, and then getting back to some of the normal routines. But how? But there's still people I know that have fear, have some concern, and so how can people cope with that? How can they? What are some of the things maybe that your organization can share when it comes to moving forward?
Well, I think it is going to not. Hopefully, we're on the backside, and I think you're right. It's not going to just go away overnight for each one of us. There's a certain amount of fatigue that's gone on with this thing for all of us to varying degrees. So it's going to take a while for us to recoup as a country, as a world, and as an individual mentally. So, how do we cope with this? I think my personal opinion is I've been ready for this for a few months. I finished up with my vaccination a few weeks ago, and I feel a little bit bulletproof, which might not be the best thing. But even before I was vaccinated, I put a mask on, and I covered 7 states to get to the 17 locations of Valley Hope. We just got to pick up and go at some point. I think we've just got to get past the fear of this thing. It's real. A lot of people have lost a lot of family, friends. I'm not saying it's not real, but we got to get back to going.
And so part of that is, though, as you talked about, get back and going, and that means making sure you have a good support group, family, friends, maybe even some professionals.
Right, and that's very true, because get back to the mental health, whether it's an addiction or not, there are going to be a lot of issues, and folks need to, personally at some point in this interview we might talk about my story, but there's no shame in having some mental health issues or having some struggles with addictions. The biggest struggle for folks is admitting they need to go get some help, and boy, this pandemic has created probably plenty of folks that are needing that. So
now I want to make sure, as we wrap up this segment, if folks do have some more questions and maybe services you provide, maybe there's a spouse, maybe there's a family member that says, hey, this may be something that could help my loved one, how can they gain more information?
Well, they can go to the Valley Hope website. They can call and talk to representatives through the Valley Hope system. Throughout 7 states, there's alumni strung around, especially in particular in this immediate area, because Norton, Kansas was the original facility 54 years ago. So there's just a ton of alumni around the country that think the world of this place. So it isn't hard to get some information about Valley Hope. It's a wonderful, wonderful place, and it's hung around for a long time with wonderful programming. So
Steve Knuth, who's the president and CEO of Valley Hope, has joined us. Stay with us. We'll have more coming up.